Most producers can't get 1,000 for a beat, let alone 1,000 for a mix, but my student has done both. Before working with me, the main struggle was actually getting paid on these calls for beats. If you don't know already, I help music producers to make 1,000 to 2,000 a week selling beats online using Zoom calls. So watch this video to the end to see exactly how he was able to score $1,000+ deals just for mixes when most mixing engineers can't even barely get 150 to 350 for a single mix. And before I jump into the interview, if you want my entire sales process and a video explaining it step by step entirely for free, simply go over to my Instagram at Kobe Sample Source and DM me the word sales and I'll shoot it right over to you. Now let's hop into the video. Well, I'm here with one of my students and he has been killing it since joining the program. So just wanted to get his honest takes on it. And it'll be pretty chill and laid back, like I was saying. But yeah, Ian, we can jump into it. I guess, like, what do you think was the main reason you ended up wanting to join the high ticket producer mastermind in the first place?
Yeah, I think the main reason was because I saw your content and I think it's very much focused in that area of like helping producers do, I guess maybe shift how they think about certain things. There's a lots of ways that people are doing things as a producer that I guess the internet likes to perpetuate a lot of these ways of uh, pushing forward as a producer, and some of them are kind of, I don't want to say saturated, but there's just so many people doing the same types of things and not really treating it like a business as much as like a build it and they will come situation. Um, that I think, there's a lot of people stagnating at certain levels within their production business. And I think the main thing that drew me to your situation is how it kind of does take it back to, okay, well, if this is going to be a business that we can scale and bring to wherever you want your goals to be, we do have to kind of see it in that way of like, we see a lot of people doing big things business wise and still staying ethical about it,
Mhm.
but for some reason producers forget that part, and they think that just the quality of their beats or whatever is going to be what gets them to that point. But there's really things to think about outside of that and surrounding that actually make your business move forward. So I think that was the main thing that I saw about your content that made me want to go like, let me see what this dude's about, because I think I resonated a lot with what you had to
Yeah.
say of all of that.
And I think that's important to note too, is that, yeah, apart from the product, like the product has to be there for sure. But also if you don't market it, if people don't know about you, there's no way for them to buy anything.
Yeah.
And then you have to have the right thing to offer them if you want to like actually get some velocity, some upward velocity. So yeah, no, for sure, man, for sure. Because when for some context too, for like people listening, like when you came in, you were already killing it. You already, or really had a really good offer in terms of like, hey, you can mix, record, master, produce, and even like offer songwriting and demo help. So like having that full stack skill set helps you to sell. But I guess like what do you think was holding you back from getting more results on your own?
Yeah, I think the main thing that was holding me back that I had to tighten up was positioning my offer in a way that actually is received by the type of person that I want it to be received by. Um, I think I was working with a lot of artists that thought that they were wanting, I guess, a butt in seat, or like a person that just does the thing and then their problem will be solved. But there's plenty of people that do that thing. And I think it's just a matter of, because I do maybe something slightly different than other producers do, I kind of include a full stack of things that go into actually achieving that goal for the person. And it's a little bit more in depth and kind of white glove, hands on type of situation. And so I think a lot of people uh, many months ago before we started working together, I think they might not have been getting that message in terms of what I actually do and how I actually help people. And I think it was positioning my offer to be as clear as possible and to talk to the right people that kind of made that a little bit better received. So I think restructuring my offer in a way that makes it really easy to understand that I do a lot more than other producers do as part of their process.
Gotcha. Gotcha. No, I think that's really well said too. Like I said, like I did think you had a good offer. We didn't really tweak it very much. I think you came up with most of the pillars on your own. But then it's like, yeah, when we're getting on the call, it's like, are we getting people certain they like want to work with you? It's like, yeah, they already want to work with you, but it's like, are you delivering that solution in a way to where it's like they're comfortable moving forward with the high ticket price, which I think is what we accomplished. Because I guess like after you started joining, I guess like were you able to land more deals than you typically were landing? Was it higher ticket pricing? Because I know you had some like ones that were only mixes, some that were production too.
Yeah, I mean, before we started working together, I think that I almost found myself going down little by little in price to try to, I guess, get more people on board. But I think through working with you, I was able to keep the pricing that I actually wanted to have and be a little bit more flexible with the options for how people can get to that rather than going right to the deal just to make it attractive enough for someone to feel inclined to hop onto it. I think it was more of this is definitely what it is, but I mean, we can work out ways to get to that point, and I think that was a big thing that I guess I learned through your process that it's still possible to have rates that you feel are very, very appropriate for what you're doing, and you don't have to sacrifice that. And and there's things that you can tweak to make it so that there's more people already kind of pre-qualified to be down for that, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. And it's like because that was probably one of the most mind blowing things. Because it's not all about money, and it's like you want to
Right.
work with the right artist, but it's like a lot of people who do mixes. It's like I see really good mixing and mastering engineers I've worked with. And they're like, I'll charge 150, 170, 200 just to
Mhm.
get deals coming in because they don't understand this concept. And then hopping on a call with you, and it's like you had one guy go for 500. And I think it was like what a couple days ago, and it was over $1,000 for just some mixing gigs. So, that's something that you don't see a lot. And a lot of people, it's like they're stuck in the race to the bottom. Like you were saying, like you can only go down to zero. Like I mean, unless you want to go negative and pay people to work with you.
Yeah,
Right. But it's like you can go up infinitely in price. So it's like if you can back the value, it's like you really get it moving.
for sure, for sure. No,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, absolutely, man. Because I guess just to dive into details that people might be curious about, like what kind of offers were you selling and what price point did you sell it at?
For sure. So, as far as the production goes, I would say it's my full production package. The name of that might fluctuate or change or whatever, but it's mainly taking your demo idea or your song idea, like from its absolute most bare bones, and crafting that one on one with the person all the way through to the final mix and master of it. And so everything within that process, I'm helping the person do, and I'm keeping in mind their vision and staying on track with, what they're actually trying to achieve with the song and what they're trying to communicate with the song and building it out with them to get to that finished point. And so then there's just that finished track. So it's like you can start from any point within the beginning stages of that and it could still be a final glued together song at the end of it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's like
But
because
that's
when
just
yeah.
I was gonna say that's the production. And then for the mixing, um, as its own kind of separate offer, it is still the one-on-one built with you process. which I think in comparison to some other ways that people are getting their songs mixed, I think it is a little bit more of pushing for the result that they actually want out of the mix and making it so that my system is built exactly to get that mix that you imagine in your head, um, rather than just being like, "Hey, this is what I came up with. Hopefully that's good, and if it's not, darn, that sucks." But no, it's really kind of building it with them, and then making sure that we're on point and we're totally locked in with the vision the whole time and getting to that end point. So that's like
Totally.
the mixing end of it, but in terms of production mixing, they're kind of two separate offers that kind of serve the same value to the artist.
You know, and it's like it's such a good offer, and like people listening might not even understand it fully, but it's like you can undersell, but then when you over deliver, it's like the product is gonna make them so happy they'll just come back and get it again, and you start getting clients, not just and customers, not just sales. So
Or
I think that that's like the most powerful part about like having a good offer is that if you have the products to back it up, it's just self fulfilling almost. Um, so yeah, I didn't want to go too deep into that, but yeah, I know you were using like a tool called Muse that like really helped to get that get their vision right, you know, versus just using Zoom. But I think you were kind of
Mhm.
using a little bit of both, right?
I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. It depends on the situation and I guess what the artist is most comfortable with. But I've found that using Muse, I think it gets all of the highlights of what person to person value Zoom has, but still Muse is more optimized for the music maker, if that makes sense. So people tend
Yeah.
to like Muse a lot more once they try it. And what's cool about it is as a person who has like the myself being the person who has the actual like the pro account where like I'm actually paying for it and getting all the extra perks and then the person on the other side doesn't have to, um,
Yeah.
makes it really nice too. So
No, that's dope. That's dope, man. So, um, and really like one thing that I wanted to talk about too was just like the journey to get there because like I know you're talking about what the struggle was when you came on was kind of repackaging your offers so that um they could really mesh with it a little bit better so that it sold better. And now you're selling more and you're selling at the price points that you want to, which I think is the most important. But I guess the journey to get there, it's not like we just like snapped our fingers and then it happened. There was some work
right.
involved. So did you think that that was worth it? Like, what was kind of your honest thoughts and experience with the work involved to actually start selling this
Hmm.
way?
Yeah, I think, man. I mean, if there was any golden nugget in there, I mean, there's plenty of golden nuggets, but there was one golden nugget that kind of stuck out to me, which was uh, your I gotta think of the actual name for it.
Hmm.
It was the rapid sales system. Um, that's a big golden nugget right there because I think when I was on the phone with people who wanted to work with me, even I think my conversationality surrounding the situation was kind of all over the place, and I think people were receiving that it was hard for me to even nail down how much I could do. So it was hard to get them feeling as sure as I was about the system by which I help them do the thing.
Hmm.
So I think the rapid sales system made it so that I could get on the phone with somebody and basically have my offer structured out in a way that's super easy for them to understand, and also making sure that they like kind of making them tell me whether they've opted in to want to receive that type of help throughout the call as well. So like, basically from the beginning, we establish, you know, I'm gonna break this down. We're gonna see what your situation is and if I can help. And if I can help, then we're gonna move forward with the payment. And then if I'm not a good help, I would love to know that. And then we can just we can figure out a way outside of working together to get you the help you need. But um, I think just the conciseness that I was able to build through learning through that rapid sales system and how to navigate the conversation in a way where it was just extremely smooth and easy for the person to be honest about their intentions on the call, and for me to be honest about my intentions on the call, um, made
Yeah.
things very, very smooth. And I think it over time, as I started to build it and get more confident and really get my reps in, um, it made it so that I could present what I do in a way where it's like, oh, well, that's exactly what I want to do. And you know, as the call goes on, I just dig deeper into that, and they receive it in the way that
Yeah.
I would hope that they receive it a lot more, a lot better.
No, I mean, it's exactly that. Like I remember the $1,500 production deal you did. I think it was just one song with the first artist we hopped on, and you presented the offer, and as soon as you got him certain on it, you dropped the price. He just said okay, and he's ready to move forward. So I think that that's like working with human behavior is a little bit of it. And it's really the only system I've ever created or used where somebody will like thank you after they spend a bunch of money with you. And I just have never gotten that otherwise. I don't know if you've gotten it yet or if anybody's like ever like come around and stuff like that. If not, no worries. But
Said thank you. Yeah, I mean the there's been a good handful of calls as of recently that I think they really saw what I do. I think through talking, and at the end of the call, they kind of were like, "Yo, and hey, I appreciate you getting on the phone with me because if we hadn't got on, then I probably wouldn't have found something that could potentially be like the system that I want to do all my songs through." So I think I think people like to know that they've found a person that kind of goes above and beyond to help them do what they're trying to do. And so yeah, I guess I've technically gotten some people being like, "Thank you," after confirming the project, just because I think they fully understood what can happen when there's a person on your team that really actually cares about making sure you get the thing and can go beyond the thing. So
no, no, for sure, man. Yeah, I don't want to go too deep into it, but yeah, it's like I mean that's 100% what it is. Like a lot of artists just don't have a support system. They just really don't. And so if you're selling high ticket and you can give them the right support, you can speak into what they're looking to do and explain it the right way. It's like they'll not only move forward, but it's like it really helps them to release more music, better music. So I mean, I'm all for it. So if anyone out there has like hesitancy with selling high ticket, just do it, but do it through a call because that's when the artist will be able to understand that you're actually there to help. So if you don't
yeah,
want to help artists, maybe
I've
not. But yeah,
I've found that yeah, like I don't feel like I could ever stray away from the Zoom call or the phone call when it comes to uh, presenting my offer to someone because I just don't think just it's hard for me to imagine communicating what the value that I bring to the table is through a text message or a DM or something like that. So I've found that it's always best to get on a call because you can really talk it out in a way that sounds human and it's not like you're just listing a bunch of stuff that you do. It's a lot more, yeah, it's a lot more personal. I think people like to talk to other people about their things. So I couldn't see a reality where I could
yeah.
only use DMs and text through that. No way. No. I think yeah, talking is usually the best way to do it.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, and it's like it took me a while to even start doing this back in like 2020. Because I'm pretty introverted, so like to get on the phone with somebody took a lot.
Mm.
But once you start doing it, it's like just a better way to communicate. Like you can send a voice message, you can send a video, you can send a text, but it's all one-way communication. And
Right.
one of the things I see artists say is like, I just hate communicating through email if I'm doing something personalized.
Mhm.
So you can get that two-way communication. It allows them to get their ideas out quicker. So
Right. For sure. For sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. Well, yeah. I guess really the last question was, what would you tell somebody who is on the fence about joining a mastermind, joining a program, getting a mentor or coach, whatever it is? If they were on the fence about joining this program and starting to sell high ticket, what would you tell them to kind of push them over the edge?
Yeah. I mean, as far as value, like technically the I guess the free section of the program is already extreme value that I've never seen anybody give. But even with that one-on-one help, that like amplifies that because I think, the implementation and the help implementing it is really like 60% of what actually makes the thing happen. Um, but the free tools on their own are also really, really good. Like the stuff that's in there in the community and like all the people around it are already really helpful within their own right. But I think the implementation is really where you can, I don't want to say take it to the next level. I want to say, I guess, bridge that gap between just learning something and then actually doing something.
Mm.
So I think that's what's really strong about, working with you one on one is like, even if there's something that I think I might be pushing in the right direction, there might be a slight reframe in how I see it that I think one-on-one help works with a lot more. Cause like, you know, there's plenty of at any given time, there's plenty of things that I could be doing. But I think through one-on-one help, I learned that sometimes it is just kind of locking in extremely hard on very few things rather than trying to get everything working at once, if that makes sense. So working with you is kind of conceptualize and like contextualizes um, everything into like a cohesive plan of action rather than just having all the information.
No, I mean I appreciate that too. I think you nailed it on the head or whatever you say. I may have said that wrong.
Something like that.
But something like that. Yeah, because it's like if you're just trying things like, oh, I'm gonna try it. It's like start doing things. Like when you do things, when you take action. I remember I had a mentor before, and he said, "Action takers are money makers." So it's like if you're trying to make money off of this, it's like you got to take action. At the end of the day, there's a lot of info out there for free, so it's like absorb it, but then figure out who you trust, figure out a strategy you trust, and then start doing for sure. So
Real,
yeah,
real.
yes sir, yes sir. But yeah, yeah, I didn't know if you had any other final thoughts, but appreciate you hopping on with me, sharing your experience.
Absolutely, bro. No, yeah. I mean, final thoughts are just, yeah. No, it's been awesome. I've learned a lot. I feel like my business is going in a lot more of a positive direction now. I feel like I have not even more knowledge necessarily, like not even only more knowledge as much as more ways to actually get the things that I want out of uh, certain places that I'm at within the process. Like, I
Hmm.
mean, in terms of systematizing, actually bringing more eyes to what you're doing and being able to talk to more artists. Um, I mean, yeah, everything you've taught me with that has been absolutely bonkers. Just because I mean, before we started working, I was like, bruh, how even would it be possible to pull potential clients out of thin air? But it's like with
Yeah.
with the system that you have of finding these artists and getting into real conversations with them is like it does actually make it possible to I mean, it is a numbers game, but it does really make it a thing that you can pull potential clients and really good, authentic artist and producer conversations out of thin air. So I think that was a very, very cool thing.
Hey man, hey, that's super well said, you know, and like you're actually out there doing it too. So, hey, I appreciate you sharing like your honest thoughts, you know, on everything too. You know, and love the direction you're going to. But yeah, I appreciate you hopping on with me, man. If you're still with me at the end of this video, thanks for watching. Hope you got a lot of value out of this video. And once again, if you want that sales process entirely for free, just head over to Instagram at Kobe Sample Source. DM me the word sales and I'll send it right over. If you're wanting to work with me more privately in a setting that's one-to-one, where I'll go and show the strategy, I will coach you until you're making a good amount of money from beats. Typically my students make anywhere from 1,000 all the way up to 14,000 in a single month in deals. So if you want that and you're wanting to work more privately with me, just click the link in the description or click the link in the pinned comment and book a call with me. It's a free consult. We'll see if it's a good fit. I'll see you in the next video.